The Price of Freedom, we have the story of Jim Dorris. As we've reported in the past, Mr. Dorris was scheduled to be a Grand Marshal for the Armed Forces Day Parade, but Mr. Dorris passed away just a few days before the parade. In fact, we were scheduled to interview him on Tuesday, April 23rd. He passed away the Thursday before our interview. Recently, I sat down with one of Jim Dorris's sons and his granddaughter to hear his incredible story.
I'm James Dorris III.
Okay.
And this is my daughter, Charlotte Dorris. She's the youngest of 18 grandchildren of my father.
James F. Dorris Jr. had a big family, 7 children, 18 grandchildren, 5 great-grandchildren. But a long time before any of that, he was a young boy growing up in Chattanooga.
He was in the first graduating class at OLPH, went to Notre Dame High School.
He was drafted into the Army in 1944. He was 20 years old. He was sent to Europe to fight in World War II and fought in the Battle of the Bulge, but for years he didn't talk much about the war.
He was too busy raising 7 children and running a business, so only after the kids left the house and he retired did he get involved in veterans activities, and he was one of the liberators of Dachau.
When Mr. Dorris was 84, he started writing this book, My View of World War II. It's his personal history of what he saw in the war, including at Dachau.
He recalls smelling the burning bodies from the crematorium and witnessing the bodies piled up in railroad cars.
He wrote this about walking into the prison camp, quote, "It was so sickening that I tried not to breathe at first. I then got to where I could stand to take short, shallow breaths."
He said this was a really low point in his life. And this, I think, really turned him into the religious man he was. He prayed to God. He was in such a state of despair to deliver him from this hell on earth.
His son says this experience changed him in a lot of ways. He says he was generous and kind to everyone he met. His granddaughter, Charlotte, is 19, and the youngest of his grandchildren. She says the kindness is what she will remember the most.
Just like what a big heart that he had, and like all the compassion and care he showed for everyone that entered into his life.
Later in his life, Mr. Dorris was active at veterans events and Holocaust remembrances. Charlotte says he spoke at the school she attended, GPS, to talk about what he saw in World War II.
As I was younger, I just saw him as a hero and someone to look up to. But then when I got older, closer to the age that he was when he was in the war, I just sat back and thought, I could not imagine being in a war right now, because I'm the same age that he was when he fought in World War II, and I don't think I have my life together, so I could not imagine being thrown into a world war, fighting for my life and fighting for the freedom of others.
Now, Jim Dorris III said he was at an event where his father was speaking. Someone asked if there was one main thing he learned from the war. He said that people can do horrible things, and for the rest of his life, he could not stand to see anyone mistreated. This is the book he wrote. You can find this book in several places, including Amazon.com.